Hey Virgo, how are we today? Just doing our weekly readings. This week we are doing our full moon shadow work readings as a weekly reading. Normally I would do those as an all signs reading, but this month there are actually two full moons. So the first one we are doing as weekly readings instead, okay? So this is the super full moon in Aquarius, right in the middle of Leo season as well. So a lot of dramatic conclusions with this supermoon. Supermoon does mean that it is just a bit closer to Earth, so does affect, those effects are a little bit strengthened being so close to the Earth there. It is mostly Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius that are going to be affected by this particular full moon. So if you do have strong placements in those signs, be prepared for that. Now, I am actually pre-filming the Earth signs this week so that I am doing the videos during the full moon energy. I understand, though, that when this is uploaded and you are watching, it will be sort of a day afterward. The full moon is on the 1st. The energy does sort of roll an extra day on each side, but I just really sort of wanted to make sure that I was using the full moon energy to do the reading. So I am pre-filming the earth signs, okay? Now, the full moon is what they call a sturgeon moon. Now, for anyone who doesn't know, a sturgeon is actually a type of fish. They do grow to like 3.5 meters, so they're a huge fish. They haven't actually changed since the beginning of fossil records either. So, very interesting fish, but they are actually critically endangered. So, with this full moon having such a strong pull on, ideas of abundance and harvest, it also lets us know that it is quite important to, be concerned with future harvest and abundance as well. Sort of not just the here and now, but, preparing for, next season and the season after that, and so on and so forth. So making sure that we are, not only feeding ourselves with that energy, but feeding spirit and the earth around us as well. All right, and giving back to those areas. Like I said, it is about abundance and harvest. So a lot of release and revelations coming through, but it is actually that opportunity to realign, to your true purpose, and start creating further abundance around you, yourself, your energy, and like I said, the earth and spirit as well. Now, I will let everyone know that if you can leave a comment on one of my videos, you will go in the draw for a free personal reading. So make sure you comment, like, and subscribe to the channel to keep updated as well. Now, for anyone who doesn't know anything about shadow work, there's a lot available online if you wanted to sort of look into that and start that journey specifically in regard to shadow work. But really, it is just about facing the darker sides of yourself in order to, better yourself and grow as a person. So it's all about you today, Virgo. We will be using the Soul's Journey Oracle. Well, not Oracle, but they're like lesson cards. I'll use those for a bit of an overview. I do have the Red Hand lenormand with me today, as well as using the Hidden Truth Oracle to get a little bit of extra, layers at the end there as well. But I'll just jot down our timestamp so I can put in the description box so that you can sort of skip straight over to readings as well. I do tend to talk a lot, so okay, so getting started with that overview for you, Virgo. Okay, Virgo, what does Virgo need to know for their shadow work, please? Oof, we do have the blame card, Virgo. Okay, so that does say, I accept responsibility for my well-being. Okay, so it's a hard energy, this one, because, it really does point out areas within us where we are blaming others for the things that happen in our life, that happen to us, that happen around us, all that sort of stuff. But it is reminding us that, even those things that, it feels as though it's happening to us, there is still our role to play. We can't always, put the blame completely on other people. There always is, our role to play in those things as well. Even if you're the innocent party completely, it's always all about how we respond to those sorts of things as well. All right. So you can blame other people for, having horrible actions and behaviors towards you, but you have to blame yourself for the way that you respond to those things, the way that you react to those things being treated in that manner. How are you reacting and responding to those negative behaviors coming at you, kind of a vibe. But also, taking blame for, your responsibility, standing up and accepting responsibility. If you have been to blame in, no one is innocent of everything. No one is perfect. If as soon as anyone thinks that they are perfect, straight away that is an imperfection by itself. So it's really standing there and taking responsibility for where you have been to blame, and where you may have caused somebody else hurt, even unintentionally. Sometimes, in somebody else's story, you may be the one to blame. Are you taking personal responsibility for your role in that? So it really does point out all that sort of stuff to us. So for us to sort of look a little bit deeper within ourselves as to, are we dealing with those things in the best possible way? Or are we just trying to, shift the blame, and push that away from ourselves, when really we do need to take responsibility for our own words and actions? All right, so we'll have a bit of a deeper look here. Virgo, what does Virgo need to know for their shadow work, please? Wow, I'm getting a lot of signs getting this energy. So with the fire signs and the earth signs, this has been coming out quite strong. So if you do have a strong earth or fire placement, it may be worth checking those videos as well. We do have the chain coming out. So this really does talk about, the chains that you've put on yourself, the restrictions that you put on yourself, the limits that you are putting on yourself. You're binding yourself up in these chains, because when we are sort of chained up in this chain energy, these chains are actually the ones that we put on ourselves. It's not necessarily, once again, we're being drawn back to that idea of blame. It's like, unless someone, physically grabbed you and wrapped chains around you, a lot of these limitations are actually your own. A lot of these chains are actually chains you've put around yourself, that have bound you to that, to limit yourself to those things. So a big thing that comes through with the chains is limitations and self-limiting behaviors and things like that. So it's really, why are you chaining yourself to the idea that you cannot do this or that, when really, it's only your own limitations that are telling you that, it's yourself holding yourself back, kind of a vibe. So, quite an interesting one with the chain energy there. I'm sort of getting for you, Virgo, that, it's kind of that ball and chain energy, that blame once again energy, where, we are, telling ourselves that, oh, this person put me in this situation, this person did this to me, this person chained me and bound me and, locked me away where I can't move, I can't do anything about it. Whereas you can, even if it feels like there's nothing that you can do about a situation, it's really about you, breaking free of these chains and finding the things that you can do. All right. So even if you are not in control of a situation or control of a person, someone else's actions, or whatever, um, there is certain things within that you still can control, like we just talked about with that blame. You can control your reactions to this person's behavior towards you, to them trying to limit you. I do feel strongly that this is sort of someone else telling you, oh, you can't do that, Virgo, and then you sort of just believing that, then believing that that is the case. All right, so an example I used in one of the other videos was, like, I could definitely limit myself to thinking, oh, I'm too old to go out dancing. Okay, because every time I go out dancing, I'm surrounded by 18-year-olds. And I kind of look around sometimes and think, oh, am I too old to go out dancing? And then I'm thinking, well, no, the only limit to um, you know, if I were to stop myself from going out and actually enjoying myself and doing what I love to do, which is, go out and have a bit of fun and dance the night away or whatever, if I were to limit myself from being able to do that, that's me limiting myself. It's not, there's no law saying, oh, if you're once you're over 30, you can't go out dancing and partying with your friends. Like there's definitely no law against those sorts of things. And even when I'm 80, I'm probably still going to be doing that, going out and dancing as much as I'm physically able to, or, I'll take my walker and still be grooving along. So those sorts of things are limitations that you would be putting on yourself. So the person, if there was someone sitting next to me and they're the same age as me and they're saying, oh, I can't go out dancing, I'm too old to go out and dance, like that is a limit, that is a chain they are putting on themselves. I feel like, if I were to say to them, oh, you're too old to go out dancing, then yes, it's someone else putting that limitation on you. But it's up to you to break free of that of those chains and kind of be like, but no, why would I limit myself to that when I want to go dancing? I enjoy going dancing. I'm not going to allow you to bind me to your societal construct of, age. I'm not going to allow your ideals to bind me. So instead of blaming that person saying, oh, but you said I can't go out dancing. You said I could. Okay, cool. you know, that's your drama. All right. I'm not going to take that on board. I'm not going to allow that to chain me back and hold me back from doing what I truly want to do. That's kind of what the vibe of the chains is that, whether it's coming from outside of you or whether it's coming from internally, it's this idea of, setting limitations of what you can and cannot do on yourself. And the only one that's sort of actually limiting you is yourself, Virgo. And if you want to do that thing, like go out dancing, go out all night long and dance the night away. There's nothing stopping you except for yourself. All right. So Spirit wants you to sort of have a look at that idea of things and, break free of those chains that you are allowing to bind you and hold you down there. We also have the beetle, okay? So the beetle is a very interesting energy. A lot of the time it does talk about like armor and the shell that you're putting on around yourself, because you can kind of see with this beetle here, we've got the hard exoskeleton shell casing, we've got these little beetle fangs here, but underneath that hard exterior, we've got these beautiful little fragile little wings trying to sneak their way out. So with the beetle, I will go through and double check in the booklet because, I'm pretty sure the booklet has slightly different representation, but to me, this talks all about armor and the armor that you're putting up around yourself, sort of not letting anyone see these beautiful little wings of yours. But I'll just have a quick look for you here. Okay, yeah. So in the actual booklet for this deck, it does say the beetle is the builder, the protection, like I said, that beetle armor, but also a hard worker. So we do see those the images of beetles working quite hard to get through things, but I'm really feeling that it's the stubborn protection, the hardy kind of hardy surface, bunkered down and secure. I'm really feeling it's that enclosed, and that's stubborn, too stubborn to sort of break free of your shell here, and let those wings flap. You really got this armor, heavy duty around yourself, Virgo, and so it's really asking you to sort of have a look at why are you putting up such a barrier. Why are you not letting these little fragile wings out? A lot of the time when that is the case, it all comes down to fear that those wings will be ripped off, or whatever. No one really likes to be vulnerable, per se, where you could actually result in danger or anything like that. But it's talking about there's this soft, gooey center, and there's this vulnerable side to you that you're not letting anyone close enough. You've just like built this big brick wall around yourself, and you're not letting anyone get close enough to see that there is these beautiful little vulnerable Virgo wings underneath that armor. And these wings, like, you can fly, Virgo, with these wings. So sometimes you do need to sort of release them out into the wild, and let people see those vulnerabilities, so that it's safe for you to let people through that big wall. So it's kind of just like asking you to question yourself as to why you are building such a big wall, around yourself, and what is stopping you from allowing people close. It's like that element of, it's one thing to want to protect yourself, but when it gets to the point where you're actually, so guarded that you stop yourself from seeing a lot of the beauty in the world, and a lot of the happiness, and all the happy, positive energies, they can't get past that wall either. So it holds you back. Once again, we're with those chains, and it's really holding you back. This big giant wall, no one can scale it. So it's really actually starting to hold you back, from being able to get all those positive things coming into your world. All right. We also have the coffin energy, all right? So as we can see, once again, we're getting that chain imagery coming through. This coffin is, chained down. So it's kind of like, the chains that are holding you are, something that's dead and buried, something that's over and done with, that, it feels like you had no choice in this ending. All right. The coffin is all about death and rebirth. So endings and then new beginnings. But you are not, you've chained this coffin up so tightly that you're not allowing those new beginnings in. Once again, you've got that wall up so high that those new beginnings aren't actually able to come in for you, Virgo. You're just so focused on the ending, the loss, the thing that has, the lid's been shut on that, and you've tied that up. It's been holding you back. This ending. I feel as though, Virgo, this is just pointing out to you that there's something that has ended in your life, or you have, lost someone, or a situation, or something in your life that you are holding on for dear life, and you're not actually letting it go. It's over, and it's done. It has ended. That is a death of a situation. But like I said, the coffin does also have that rebirth energy, and you're not allowing that energy to be reborn into something new. You're holding on so tightly to whatever it is that is now over and done with. And it's kind of like, I feel there's a bit of blame there as well, that, that maybe I could have done this differently. I could have done that differently. Why didn't they do this differently? Why didn't they do that differently? And you're holding on so strongly to this past energy, that you're not allowing it to reform and bring that new energy through. So it's kind of letting you know that, it sometimes these shadow work readings are confronting, guys, and I'm going to put it in a way that, it keeps saying it to me, and I feel as though maybe there's some of you out there that need to hear it quite rough, that it's over, it's done. You're living in the past. I'm sorry, Virgo, but it is over. It is finished. This is dead and gone and buried. You can't keep allowing it to hold you back, because you see those chains there? That is what's holding you back from, moving forward with your life, from letting down this wall and letting people in. It's holding you back, and you have so much blame, I feel, for yourself about this situation ending, toward whatever this situation is. There's a lot of blame there. I accept responsibility for my well-being. All right, Virgo. That means you need to accept responsibility for your future. Dwelling in the past is not going to get you anywhere in the future. You're, you know, are you going to be, honestly, Virgo, are you honestly going to be happy with yourself if, whatever this is that you're holding on so tightly to, if 5 years from now you emotionally are in the exact same spot and you're still allowing this to hold you back, and you're still focusing on this, are you going to be happy? Focusing on this thing that has ended and gone, is that making you happy, Virgo? I feel like it's not. And that new energy is there that will lead to, happiness and things moving forward for you. Sometimes change is really hard, and painful, all right, but you need to look it in the face and say, okay, it's over. I accept that it's over. I want to try to use that energy elsewhere. All right, and to focus on the next steps instead of focusing on the steps, however long ago this was for you, in your individual situation. Instead of focusing on the past, I consciously choose to focus on the future. And how can I use the lessons I have learned from this to do better in the future, and to stop these things from, being lost again? If I come across something like that again, how can I avoid losing that in the future? I've said it so many times during these readings this week, but if you have a time machine, you're holding out on us all, Virgo. You cannot go back to the past. This is over and done with. I'm sorry, but it's not there anymore. It has ended. All right. Sorry about that, Virgo. I'm just trying not to be so confronting, and then every time I try not to be so confronting, I get a message like that where I kind of have no choice but to put it bluntly. So I am sorry that if that I can be a bit confronting with the shadow work readings, but these are things that we need to face within ourselves for a reason, and that reason is moving forward, helping ourselves grow and do better for ourselves. All right, so it's hard. Change is hard. Facing, your inner demons is hard. But without the darkness, there can be no light. Without the, we can't see the light without the darkness. All right. So just keep looking for that light in the future, Virgo. Keep moving forward. Stop moving back and looking back. All right. So Virgo's hidden truth, please. Hidden truth for Virgo, please. Yep. Okay. So firstly, we do have, I feel you leaving me behind. All right. So that's that coffin energy all over again. I don't really need to go back over that, Virgo. I feel you leaving me behind. So you're focusing on the past. You're feeling like you got left behind here, tied up. It's holding you down. It's holding you back. It's holding you back because you're feeling like you're being left behind. You're seeing everyone else sort of moving on with life, moving forward, and you're being held back by this thing that has ended in the past. By focusing on the past energy, you're holding yourself back, holding yourself down, as we spoke about with those chains. All right. And then once again with that blame oracle that we saw at the start, I accept responsibility for my own well-being. once again, past energy coming through here. I know I messed up everything. So blaming yourself for this ending. Once again, this whatever this is that's ended for you in the past, Virgo, blaming yourself, feeling like you messed everything up. But do you know what? You may have. You accept responsibility for, the past. Accept what has happened in the past. You cannot change that. All you can do is use that to learn to not do that again, to not make those same mistakes. If you feel like, even if you like, I feel like it's just a you feel like thing rather than you actually did mess up everything. I feel like it's more you're blaming yourself. But these things happen for a reason. And the reason there may have been things that you could have done differently. Who knows? You may have made a few mistakes and messed up a few things here and there, Virgo. But what you're messing up now is blaming yourself for every little thing and focusing so much on this past energy. All right. So once again, if you don't want to mess up everything, learn from it. Use it to grow and make sure you're not making those same mistakes again. And then next time you're faced with anything like this, or even something totally different, but same sort of energy, you're not going to mess up. Okay, so just use it to learn. What can you learn from the ending? What can you learn from that thing that you had to close the lid on, or the lid got closed on you? What can you learn from that situation? And I'm not seeing any cards about it, but like when we see the ending of something, there's always a side note of like, would you have rather never known that thing in the first place? So there's always an energy too of, when you start to have gratitude for that thing, even though it ended horribly, or whatever it was, it's now ended. Gratitude that you had that opportunity to learn those lessons and have that in your life, even if only for a short while. It usually is quite important to show our gratitude. Even if it's a bit further down the track, I feel, right now you're allowing it to just sort of hold you down a bit. And, that's not good for you, Virgo. You sort of need to focus on you and moving forward. All right. So stop limiting yourself. Whatever's, that thing in the past that's now ended, that was obviously some sort of a limit on you, because who's to say that the next thing around the corner is not like 5 times better than that thing, and you just have no clue because you're so focused backwards rather than looking at all the possibility forwards. All right. So sorry if I'm a bit confronting today, Virgo, but leave me a note in the comments and let me know you hate me if you need to. That's fine. But hopefully I will see you all again soon.